back to the Silent Hill commentary with me, Skully the Metalhead. Today, we're going to be taking a stroll through Silent Hill. First, let's pick up obligatory items such as the health drink, flashlight, and map, both of which will come very useful, particularly in the later segments of the game. And hopefully this part will be of much better quality than the other one, because my computer is slowly starting to die on me. Like the audio was in far worse shape than I thought it would have been, man. Oh well, what you gonna do? Tech problems and all that.
What's that?
It's a radio, Harry.
Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
It is buzzing with static, you silly sausage. Yes, let us go off and examine the staticky radio. Damn kids. Surprise, motherfucker! Shoot that fucker down, man.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Yeah. What is happening to Silent Hill? We're gonna find out throughout this entire commentary, we are. So let's get out of this place and find Cheryl. Yes, let's check the hellish alleyway that we totally tripped out in last time. Jesus Christ, Harry, you really are a silly sausage. So this is what a majority of the game is really gonna be like. You're just wandering all throughout Silent Hill, which I gotta give the PlayStation 1 some credit, man. Like, it totally did a good job in making open-ended environments, especially considering the fact that most games were incredibly linear in terms of where you could go, which, in a way, Silent Hill is as well, considering the fact that a lot of the roads are obliterated, for the lack of a better word, and that's... oh god, it's that thing, flashbacks. Yeah, but anyway, most of the roads are really just blown off, really so that you can only go a certain path. Because if you could just walk through the entire town and get to the destination you needed to, there wouldn't be a majority of the game there, so yeah. Actually, that's one of the few things that actually broke immersion for me in the Team Silent Hill games. Team Silent Hill. But, yeah, the fact that the roads were always obliterated kind of destroyed the sense of, well, freedom I found in the games, you know? Well, fans would probably know, newcomers probably wouldn't. And I wouldn't even be seeing this part because they'd be too busy just watching some bigwig YouTubers part instead. Because, you know, nobody likes the poor man's YouTuber anymore. Anyway, I think most of this part is just going to be dedicated to exploring the town and just seeing the general nooks and crannies you can get yourself into. I apologize for my stumbling, because that seems to happen when I don't function under a script or if I don't have something set that I want to say. And there is another bird-like creature. A lot of people often credit Silent Hill as being one of the scariest games ever made, but personally, I don't see it. I mean, yeah, the game is definitely creepy in some places, and sure as hell scared the hell out of me when I first played it, but in terms of being the scariest, I don't think so. And then again, fear is subjective, so it's honestly up to interpretation if you think this game's scary or not. Oh my god, I forgot how long it took to load these areas, Jesus. Still the same camera angles though, and it doesn't quite have the same sense of fear, if only because of the fact that the music's not there. Which is also a clear indicator that things aren't going to go screwy on you this time. Handgun bullets. Gun food. Yum yum. Anyway, there is not Cheryl around here, the area is destroyed, but what do we have here? A steel pipe, my favourite weapon in the game. Well, actually no, my favourite weapon in the game is the chainsaw, but we won't see that in this playthrough.
She's at the school.
Yes, she is. Of course, that note could have been written by anybody, and you're just going off a baseless lead, but hey man, whatever works for you. Okay. And that's the route you need to go in order to find your way to the school. Of course, if you try and go any other way, the roads will be destroyed, and yeah. You know, Silent Hill's town development plan must be pretty screwed up, man. Like, I'd hate to work at the Shire of Silent Hill, man. I really gotta stop saying man. In fact, I really gotta stop mumbling, because people will find this commentary shit. Watch out for the dogs, Harry. Well, then again, as a kid I had a pretty huge fear of dogs, actually. Don't ask me why, I was a very stupid and weird kid. You know, it's for a lot of these areas, especially when you're just roaming around town, which is where you really need to find commentary, because, like, it's incredibly dull except for the you know, occasional enemy that just flies past you, which, you know, the more often you see them, it just loses a bit of its fear factor to me. Fog! And my screen is fucking up for some reason. Yeah, okay, there we go, it should be fixed now. Yeah, when I said my computer was dying, I wasn't lying to you. It slowly but surely is dying, like screen and everything, man. Anyway, aimless wandering. You know, compared to the fog in other games, it's just like a grey wall with like a line that steadily moves on as you move forward. I know it's on an older system like the PlayStation 1, but even still, like, it's kind of jarring to me. But then again, this is coming from the same person that thinks a lot of Dreamcast games still hold up today, so what do I know? Anyway, our next clue is to head on over to 11th Street, where there is a doghouse with a key to get inside. Of course, first-time players wouldn't know this because they just spend their time aimlessly wandering around Silent Hill looking for something to do, but hey, you know, it's cryptic and it's supposed to be that way. Well, even still, there is only so many places you can go, but even then, Team Silent really weren't the best at directing the players as to what to do or where to go. I mean, yeah, you gotta go to the school, but the roads are obliterated, and yes, there is only so many places you can go, but still, man. Think about the first-time player. Well, then again, this was back at a time when hand-holding wasn't really an issue in video games. That locked door will actually contain the samurai sword, which you can get after beating the bad plus and good plus endings of the game. Yeah, I don't really like the samurai sword all that much. Never really found much of a use for it. Of course, it still doesn't beat out the chainsaw, which in my opinion is the ultimate weapon, and if anyone disagrees with me on that, then I don't care. Yay, more gun food. Now, of course, you're supposed to continue through that door if you can see to the side of the camera there, but it requires 3 keys, and we don't have those 3 keys, so yeah. Keys for Eclipse. Yeah, that eclipse actually does happen when you go through that door. Talk about subtlety, Team Silent. Well, then again, it isn't like Atlas subtlety. For anyone who's played in the Atlas games, like Shin Megami Tensei and the such. Anyway, now it's a hunt for the 3 keys. Why the hell do I feel like I'm playing a Knuckles treasure hunting stage? It didn't take me long to make a Sonic reference in a Silent Hill game. Well, then again, I reference Sonic all the time, so if that's what you don't like, then I guess this playthrough isn't for you. Aimless fog and snow. In the Silent Hill movie, they just stated that the snow was actually ash, which, in the games is a common misconception, because in the games the coal fire did not happen, so in this game it's just snow. Although I do have a theory that it is something else entirely, which was unfortunate, well, not unfortunately, but well, kind of unfortunately for my theory, it was dropped after the first Silent Hill game as the games began to get more developed, because, fun fact kids, the original Silent Hill was never meant to have a sequel. Silent Hill 2 was the game that laid the groundwork as to how the other world works and how the town's concepts were expanded upon, but in the first game, I often had a theory that it had something to do with White Claudia. What is White Claudia, I hear you ask? Well, we'll get to that later on. Anyway, let's hop inside this shop. Oh my god, what a terrible store. You know, if I was the manager of this place, I would yell at the employees to no end. I would just lay down my vengeance, just saying, "Why is my place so disheveled, you motherfuckers?" This place is also an area which you can get the channeling stone on your next playthrough, which of course, as many fans know, would unlock the UFO ending. An ending that is one of my favourites in the series, actually, the worst of which of course being in Silent Hill Homecoming, the worst game in the Silent Hill series, bar none, and I don't care what anybody says, that game sucked. You can like it if you want, but I still personally think it sucked. If you did like the game and you're a reasonable person and won't just defend it with, "You just a hater, Tom Hewlett is the genius of the Silent Hills, don't you know?" Yeah, but that's another rant for another time. In the meantime, I'm just filling up dead air until something interesting happens and I can commentate over it with something witty to say. You know, this is something that a lot of Let's Players probably have to do a lot, and trust me, it's a lot harder than it looks. I had to re-record this like 5 times, man. It is not fun. You really gotta keep talking. If you don't keep the flow, then you're gonna lose your audience. I don't have another rhyme for that, so I can't start rapping. Gotta bring up some Silent Hill trivia right now. In Silent Hill 4, on the Saint medallions, Lessa Gillespie, who was the woman that we nearly ran over in the intro, her face is on that. I did not notice that until I played Silent Hill 4 again recently. Of course, that was during the test commentary on the same save file that I did. This is the location of the next key that we are looking for. Or the first key, actually, we haven't even found the others yet. Talk about a sequence break in real life. You know, I'm surprised that the police car isn't just falling off the edge considering its angle right now. You know, it isn't a good Silent Hill game if you don't check your map every 5 seconds, because, dude, you get really lost in this game, and the subsequent 3 games, like Silent Hills 1 through 3, you know, even Downpour to an extent. Like, I know a lot of fans still consider it, like, one of the worst games ever, but personally, I still think it's the best Tom Hewlett era game that, you know, came out of that era. I mean, often considering this, the disappointments that were Homecoming and Origins, I mean, Origins, to me, was a game that it tried to expand upon Silent Hill's lore, or at least the first game anyway, but it did it so terribly, if only for the fact that Silent Hill 1 just explained everything perfectly. I mean, it was nice to see a bit more insight as to how things unfolded, but it was either restating old information we already knew, or it was just completely screwing with the backstory altogether, you know? Well, you don't know, but, well, some fans would know. As for Silent Hill Homecoming, it is the worst game ever. I'm sorry to keep on restating that and sounding a little bit ignorant by saying that, but it is the worst game ever, I'm sorry. It's my opinion. Anyway, we found the key of the Scarecrow, Woodman, I don't know. I'm completely lost in the gameplay now. I'm too caught up in my own tangents to notice anything anymore. Anyway, we've only got one more key left to find, and then we can finally unlock that door. Grey fog! Seriously, there really isn't much to talk about during the fog sections. I mean, really. It's just running. Occasional monster. Running. Eventually find something. Destroyed road. I mean, seriously, look at that destroyed road right there. I would be complaining up the arse to Silent Hill's town development plans. I mean, honestly, who the hell would let this shit slide? Well, it would if it was Rockingham, but yeah. Nobody would get that reference if they didn't live there. Anyway, we found the final key, so let's head back to 11th Street and open that door. Of course we must check the map to find out where we are, because this place is incredibly easy to get lost in, man. Like, really, I wonder how people navigated this place. Like, well, again, they did have the advantage of running cars and shit, but I wonder how people navigated this place without a map. They probably had, like, I don't know. You know, I've often wondered, like, as a Silent Hill fan, like, why the hell well, I know the significance of the fog is there just to cloud your view, and in gameplay-wise, it's just there to, you know, be a disguise for the draw distance limitations, but I've always wondered what the symbolic meaning behind it was. I mean, maybe clouding your judgment or something, or the fact that your mind is troubled, so that you're just clouding yourself with all sorts of emotions and insecurities, but I have no idea what its origination was, or at least in the context of Silent Hill 1, you know. But anyway, that's just another discussion for another time with another Silent Hill fan, which I don't know. 11th Street, here we are. You'll know the house you need to go to by the doghouse out the front, which actually led to a pretty funny internet meme where Harry says, there's a doghouse, but there's no dog around here, with a picture of a dog just, like, right there. And with that lame joke, see you next time for part 3. I am Skully, catch you next time.